Hey folks, welcome to We Built This White Lake. My name is Amy Van Loon. I'm the Executive Director of the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau.
And I'm Stephanie Weir, Director of Events and Membership for the White Lake Area Chamber and Visitors Bureau.
And we are your hosts for We Built This White Lake, which is a podcast done right here in CatchMark Technology Studios. And today with us, we have Bob Lukens, who's the Community Development Director for Visit Muskegon or Muskegon County. Welcome, Bob.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we're so excited to have this conversation with you this morning, just to be able to hear a little bit about what you do and the role of the tourism industry in our community. So go ahead and take it away. Tell us a little bit about what you do and the role of Visit Muskegon.
Sure. I am Community Development Director for the county, so I have a number of departments that fall under my purview. The Convention and Visitors Bureau, the county parks, the transit system, the airport, and Heritage Landing.
Wow. Okay.
I have professional managers in some of those departments too, so
Sure.
that helps a lot. And, they're all great and do a fine job. But my main responsibility is for the Convention and Visitors Bureau and bringing new visitors to our wonderful county and to the White Lake area.
Awesome.
So, Bob, tell us a little bit about how it started and where it all began, kind of the history of Visit Muskegon.
Sure. It started back in 1979. The Muskegon Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce down in the city of Muskegon originally operated the Convention and Visitors Bureau. The chamber in Muskegon was kind of melded into MEGA, a larger umbrella organization that did the CVB chamber, workforce development, and I think there was one other area of focus that they worked on. Then that was probably in 1989 or so that happened, maybe a little earlier. But in 1999, the county took over the Convention and Visitors Bureau because the funding really for the Bureau comes from the county. So since 1999, Visit Muskegon, then it was called the Muskegon County Convention and Visitors Bureau, was operated by the county. And at one time, Joanne Hatch from up in the White Lake area, I think she was the first director when it went into county ownership, I guess, for lack of a better term. So Joanne ran the organization for a number of years, and then there were several other directors, and I came in 2011, in October of 2011, so I just celebrated my 13th year here. I'm from the Chicago area originally, so we moved the family up here, and we haven't looked back. It's great. We love our area, and I love promoting our area, along with our staff and along with the assistance of you folks up in the White Lake area. Very instrumental in promoting your part of the county, the north part of the county. We all work together, and that's a really wonderful thing in this industry. And, it kind of happens statewide, too. We compete, but we're still, it's friendly competition, I guess you would
for
say.
sure. Yeah. And over the, 2+ decades, then we have seen this partnership grow with the county. It is exactly that, a partnership. And share with our viewers a little bit more about the bulk of what you and your team do and what we do in the industry.
Sure. At Visit Muskegon, the new name for our Convention and Visitors Bureau, that happened probably about 6 or 8 years ago. We focus a lot on the convention center, which was one of the newer one of the newer amenities of our county. And, our job is to try to keep that convention center filled, and the old tourism adage, put heads in beds. I know you do that up here too in the White Lake area. And the reason that the convention center was built was to make our area more of a year-round destination. Because as you know, summertime is really going gangbusters. It's very, very busy in our county because of all the great things we have to do or that are available to do here and see. But in the winter, it kind of slows down a bit in the shoulder seasons and the winter. So the convention center was an idea that happened probably way back in 1979. People were thinking about a convention center. It happened. The convention center was built in It started in about 2020, right at the height of the pandemic, and then construction happened during the pandemic. They kind of got a special dispensation from the state to be able to work during the pandemic, and then it opened in April of 2022, which we were still kind of in the throes of the pandemic. So, we work a lot with our sales team. We have a sales executive at Visit Muskegon that talks to industry meeting planners in the association and state government organizations to bring their meetings to Muskegon County. And then we also do, of course, marketing. So we're the marketing arm of the county for visitors. We mainly market outside the Muskegon area, Muskegon County area, to bring new visitors and new money into the town.
You got it.
Into the area.
Great. You kind of touched on the pandemic already. But can you share with our listeners some of those challenges that the industry has seen over the several past decades?
Yeah, the pandemic was a big one, but we also had the rise of short-term rentals, and that was kind of an effect of the pandemic. I mean, we always had, vacation rentals in our communities, and that was really all over America. But, with the pandemic, people didn't want to stay in hotels and large gathering areas. So, their short-term rentals began to rise, and now we have hundreds of them in Muskegon County. It's actually kind of hard keeping track of them. But that was one of probably the major challenge. And then also, the seasonality is kind of a challenge here too. We have to give visitors a reason to come to our area in the winter. And, up here in the White Lake area, you have a very cultural, a great culture of art and music up here. Same thing within the city of Muskegon too, and the kind of the urban area. We have the Frohenthal Theater down there, and other cultural organizations like the Art Museum, our Muskegon Museum of Art, which is really undergoing an expansion now. So, those cultural events bring people in the off-season, leisure visitors. But again, we kind of go back to the convention centers and meetings and conventions to bring people in here to spend money. And, that's really kind of the objective of tourism, not only here in Muskegon County, but statewide, to bring people into the area to support our smaller businesses, our restaurants, our bars, our cultural institutions. Visitors help greatly then, and you can see it in the summertime. We have kind of, it's very crowded in the summertime.
Yeah, the joke is you can't turn left anywhere after Memorial Day or before Labor Day. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes the waits at restaurants can be a little long in the summertime, but people, have adapted and realized that, it's kind of a different world now after the pandemic, and it's tough finding staff for, on occasion. So
still, right? Yeah,
still.
We're still seeing that, and some more challenges in that labor force industry to come too.
Right.
Gosh, and you hit on the seasonality. Like, we all want to market winter because we can have beautiful winters if you like snowmobiling or you like ice fishing, but we don't always have the snow and we don't always have the ice. So that seasonality can be a challenge.
Right. And, when we do have the snow and ice, we know how to winter here. Yeah. But, with the Luge and Adventure Sports Park, it's a wonderful place that's known really statewide, and that brings people into Muskegon County. But yeah, the winter, if we're going to have winter, let's have winter,
Yeah, the industry is so influenced by weather. We see that with our events. We see it with just even coming out and enjoying the outdoors. So it's if we have good weather and if it cooperates, things are great.
Right.
Yeah.
One other quick thing I wanted to mention that's a challenge is statewide, the Travel Michigan, the Pure Michigan
yes.
campaign that everyone knows about. Our funding in the state is about $30 million this year, and it was about $30 million last year. But we have a lot of competition, so we have to keep, going after an increase in funding. The state of Illinois, for instance, has a $100 million state travel budget. We have lots of competition, and we want to just try to, increase that so we can market to the entire nation, really.
Sure.
So with the hurdles, there's also hopefully more victories for all of us to see. What would you say are some of the biggest victories that you've seen in your organization?
Well, I think with Visit Muskegon, we were able to hire more staff. When I first got here, we probably had, I think it was about 3 people on the staff, and then we had 2 part-timers at the front desk, to take care of visitors that come in and work in convention services. But we added a salesperson to the team, and then, of course, we added a social media person to the team. And it's really, as you know, social media has kind of taken over everything. It's the way to get your message out. It's a way to give people an idea of what your destination is about and what it looks like and the things you can do. So those 2 things were very important, hiring the social media coordinator and the salesperson. And then the convention center, it was a huge project that, again, makes us more of a year-round destination. I think some of the other things that we were able to accomplish were this is kind of, I'm putting on my parks hat here, but Dune Harbor Park in Norton Shores was a huge win for us.
Good.
That happened a couple of years ago. We received DNR funding for that, and it's a 377-acre park that has Lake Michigan frontage and trails. It's really a beautiful place. And, in tourism also, we've been able to, kind of increase our visual presence with the visitor guide. We're trying to get away from listings, but it's hard to do that because we want people to know where they can go to dine or have a beer or, recreate or view one of our cultural events. So you kind of have to list those things out. But it's always a challenge between the visual aspect of it and the written aspect of the visitor guides. But I think we're kind of in a good place now where we're able to make a visual impact in the guide while still providing the information that people need.
And that parks and tourism, though, they do go hand in hand. I mean, so many people come to our area because of our natural resources. And those Muskegon County parks and all the parks within our area are a huge draw. So you talk about Dune Harbor being brand new, but visually, it's gorgeous. So seeing those pictures, that helps with marketing. It all really goes hand in hand.
Right. And here in the county we have 3 state parks, which is a plus. I think there might be one other county that has as many state parks as we have.
Wow.
And all of those parks are beautiful and bring visitors themselves, to camp and to hike and use our beaches.
Yep.
So how has tourism impacted the community and even the county as a whole? How do you feel that has either changed over the years or how it is today and how it influences our economy?
Well, I think, with the influx of visitors from our marketing and sales efforts and your marketing and sales efforts up here in Whitehall, Montague area, it allows businesses to expand. It brings new businesses into the area, and it really kind of just uplifts the entire area because you have that economic impact that's coming into the community. We just got 2023 tourism numbers from the state, and Muskegon County's visitor economic impact was estimated at $388 million.
Wow.
And that also brings $47 million in local taxes to the area too.
Wow.
So that's, taxes on food and beverage, all of those hotel taxes.
Sure.
It brings all of those revenues into our county. But most importantly, I think it really supports small businesses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, high five to all of us,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Nice job.
What would you say, Bob, is your parting message? What would you want people to know about Visit Muskegon and what you guys do?
I think we're just kind of a window into Muskegon County, all of Muskegon County. And, being able to give visitors the opportunity to explore the destination before they really even get here, I think is important. And of course, they can go to our website at visitmuskegon.org. And your website?
whitelake.org.
Right. So, we have all the visitor information that you need, and our staff is very helpful in providing any additional information or questions that you may have about our region, because again, like you said, Stephanie, it's a beautiful area, in any season. So we're really happy to promote it and bring new visitors and new revenues into our county.
We often have to remind ourselves, too, that we get the privilege of living where people vacation.
Right.
And also we get the privilege to promote the community. And we get to hear it time and time again, on a daily basis, of how beautiful our areas, our trails, our parks, our water. So we have so many different resources and different amenities that people admire and they come to enjoy. And we certainly don't want to take that for granted.
Right. Yeah, and one of my final parting messages is come visit us in the winter.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it can get a little sleepy, but it is magical. It is just a sweet place to be. So, Bob, thank you so much for sharing with us today and for coming in and just telling your story about Visit Muskegon.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, very good. For additional information, as Bob mentioned, visit Muskegon or whitelake.org. Be sure to check out social media as well that updates people to come here and know about what is going on. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time.